Guys, I'm back. So, since it's October, I thought I would tell you guys a story about when I worked for the funeral home, when I was a mortician and funeral director. I actually went to school to become a funeral director and embalmer. I graduated, this gum. I graduated and got my degrees and went straight to work. I actually worked while I went to school in a funeral home as well. So I've seen a lot of things. I've worked for many different types of funeral homes in different areas and different neighborhoods, different ethnicities. So I have seen a lot. I hear something. Oh, I don't know. And so yes, I've seen a lot. I've seen accidents, murders, suicides, violent beatings, decayed bodies that haven't been found for weeks in hot weather, bones that were found in a field, a nearly decapitated person, children, pregnant women, people that have been stabbed in prison, people with cancer, miscarried babies, lots of stuff. I've seen all of that. And I guess I can just say it, just I'm not afraid of death. I've dealt with it up close and personal and physically, so I'm not afraid of death anymore. It's just a part of life, actually. So many people don't like to talk about it, but it's the only thing that's really guaranteed. It's death. So I did that for like 5 years. And the thing about that job is, well, back then I worked for many different funeral homes. Some were individually owned, some were part of like a big corporation. The difference is, like, with a family owned funeral home or an individually owned funeral home, they kind of write their own rules, but they do follow the laws and stuff, but, well, some of them. They're not as strict, but there is a down part of it. Like, there's lots of sexual harassment. It's a male dominated industry, and for a woman it's a little bit hard, because especially if you're a young woman, you have all these older men. It's like a mostly male dominated industry. You have a lot of men around, and you know, they have a little power over you, so they try to take advantage of you sometimes. But if you work for a corporate funeral home, they have strict policies and rules on sexual harassment, so they really won't bother you. But the thing about working for a corporate owned funeral home is that basically you have to memorize a script every time you talk to a family. It's like, I went on an interview for one of the funeral homes, and they give you like this 3-page script that you must memorize for your second interview. So it's kind of like acting. It's like, I had never taken an acting class in my life. I don't know how to memorize a script or lines or anything, you know. So they called me in to like read, like I'm in an audition. I'm like, this is not Hollywood. And why, why would I say the same thing to every family that walks through the door? You know, some people have different needs. Some people have, no, I could not recite that script over and over and over and over and feel comfortable with it. So it's like, this is not for me. I'll just work in the back, I'll do the embalming, or I'll, assist. I'm not going to sit here and tell these people the same thing over every day, okay? No. And they looked at me crazy, like, I said, I can't do it. I said, I've worked for individually owned funeral homes. Sorry, y'all, I got loud. I got passionate for too long to recite a script. I was like, death is a personal thing. It's not a stamp. It's not a number. It's not, you're making it into a product. And that's not what it is. I say, I can't do this. And they were like, okay, well, we wanted you out in front, not in the back. And I'm like, why? Because I'm a woman? Anyway, y'all, to make a long story short, I would rather work for individually owned funeral homes and have to put up with harassment, but than work for a corporate funeral home, okay? Anyway, another thing is that there are some crooked people in the business, y'all. Like, I don't plan on getting embalmed or buried. I want to be cremated. And why? Because I've witnessed everything. I know how they act. I know how they treat people. I know how they talk about people. I know the procedure, and it's not a pretty one. I always say, dying is the most humiliating experience that you will ever go through. Your body, I know you're not in there anymore, but your body is totally just humiliated, basically. If I went into detail on what they do in an embalming, you would not want to be embalmed either. And you would not get your mother embalmed or your father or your brother. You would not let them get embalmed if you knew what they did to your body. And but let me tell you, I don't want that done to my body alive, and I don't want it done to my body when I'm dead. I will just say, you know what, burn me. Send my spirit and soul back out to the ethers and spread my dust, shoot it out into outer space. I don't care. Actually, that's what I want to do. I want to have my ashes shot up into outer space and just whoosh, back into the ethers. That's where I belong. I don't want to be buried. I don't want to be sprinkled in the water. I don't want to be this. I want to go back to the source energy, to that dark matter, to the ethers, to the force. So yeah, that's what I learned being a mortician, that I don't want to be buried. I don't want to be in the ground. I don't want to be sprinkled. I don't want my ashes to be kept on a mantle until 3 generations down. They don't remember who I am and just throw me out, or sell me in an estate sale, or put me out in the garbage. No, I want to be shot into outer space. And if I can't be shot into outer space, at least shoot me in the air or something. I don't know, in the wind. I'll take the wind if I can't get the outer space. So yeah, I just thought I'd talk about, my mortuary experience. And if those of you who are curious, it takes 2 years to become a mortician. If you're going to do embalming and funeral directing, it takes about 2 to 3 years, depending on if you have your basics out of the way, because you do have to take, there's college courses in there. And if you don't want the degree, you can get the certificate for funeral directing only, and that takes about 15 months. But if you want the degree, which means more money, and you want the embalming degree, which means more money, it's going to be about 2 to 2.5 years, depending. And most states, they have like 1 mortuary school or 2, depending on how big the state is. Luckily, I lived in Houston, and they have one. called the Commonwealth Institute of Funeral Services. They changed the name a couple times. It was like the Commonwealth College of Funeral Services. And then they have one in Dallas. And yeah, that's where you have to go. I have a hair in my mouth. That's where you gotta go. And a lot of people's like, well, can you make a lot of money doing that? It's long hours. You work every weekend. You don't get holidays off just because it's a holiday. You might if you're lucky, but unless you own your own funeral home, it's just like a regular career. You're not gonna get like rich. It's just, you know. I think depending on where you work, if you work for like a corporate funeral home, I'd say they start you off about 65, and I don't know. Because I didn't want to work at a corporate funeral home. I tried, but I couldn't do it. But basically, yeah, you do make a decent amount, but it's not really worth all the hours that are involved. It's not really worth it because you're on salary, not on hourly. So just remember that. Like, you'll be waking up by the middle of your sleep sometimes. You'll be working on Saturdays, sometimes Sundays. You'll be working on holidays. So to me, it's not worth it. I did it for 5 years, so I know that. But I was not, like, I didn't have any kids. I was single. I was young, so I didn't have a family. If I had a family, they would totally have been neglected, y'all. So, yeah, it's like 14-hour days, 12-hour days sometimes. Just depends on what type of funeral home you work for. Unless I was just really taken advantage of and I just don't know it. So the dead people were not scary to me. They caused no problems. It was the living people that caused me all the problems. So I just wanted to share my little story with you guys. I know a lot of people have been asking me to share more about my mortuary experiences. I have seen a lot of crazy stuff. Maybe I'll do a few more since it is October, and I'll kind of go into a little bit more detail on some of the things. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Got my phone, hold on a second, y'all. Oh, y'all like my new nails? Aren't these cute? Okay. After, oh shoot, I hate that Facebook sound. I'm like, shut up. Okay, mute. It's on mute, y'all. Sorry. So, gosh. Okay. Checking my email 1 second. Yeah. What? Okay. Okay, Twitter is getting on my nerves. My nephew, who's like in college, they keep trying to get me to like or subscribe to his Twitter page. I don't want to see what he's doing. Okay? And I don't want him to see what I'm doing. More so. No. Decline. Decline. If he hasn't requested me, I don't want to request him. I don't want to see. I'm serious. I'm not one of those nosy aunts or nosy family members. I want kids to be kids and enjoy themselves. Because if he saw what was on my Twitter, he'd probably tell on me. So no. No family members on Twitter. Okay, y'all. Thank y'all so much for, staying with me and subscribing to me and like sharing my videos. I know y'all share my videos sometimes and like them and all that kind of good stuff. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. And yeah, happy October. It's fall. It's sweater weather. I know I got on a tank top, but I had on my poncho this morning, and it was very cool this morning and crisp, and I was just so excited to finally get to wear my sweater. And Tell me if it's cold where you guys are, or cool. Okay, it's like 60, 65 here, you know, in the mornings and in the evenings. So it's a good change from hot, sticky summer weather. So I'll see y'all later, okay? See y'all. Bye.